if you hear some weird noises here, I'm in a slightly different recording place to last week, so not the greatest work environment, I'll put it that way. But welcome to week 2 of SPDL Season 5 Gallade Division. Leeds Lucarios taking on Matt and the Seattle Seismitoads, or AV Goon, if you want to call them that as well. In what is going to be a really interesting week 2 matchup. We're actually the top 2 teams after week 1. He got a really good 6-0, and I obviously won 5-0 in my match against Amarillo, which if you haven't watched it, go and watch it please, I'd really appreciate it. Matt's got a really interesting team. It's very top heavy, it's got a lot of really good threats in there, and this is going to be a big match for me because I'm actually 0-3 against Matt in my draft league career. We played twice in SPDL minors, and then last season I'd say we're pretty even on ability, and I had a bad matchup in minors, and then last season I made a fatal error which cost me the game. Hopefully I can finally put things right and beat him in this game. So let's talk about his team. He's got a Spectre, which is obviously just a huge special threat. Just literally doesn't get any coverage, doesn't need it, and it's literally the only reason this season where I picked up Gallade in that free agent transaction, because it was such a huge threat. It literally two-shots my entire team. Glide score is incredibly good now that Hidden Power is gone, so things can't just slap HP Ice on the set anymore and deal with it. It's a good rocker, it's a good defogger, it just roosts and sits there, and my team does struggle to break it a bit outside of Kieran. Celesteela is obviously an incredible wall, either physically or specially, can do either. Steed and Flying is a great typing, means it resists a lot of very common types, and it checks Rillaboom really well in this matchup. Aerodactyl is actually the biggest problem for me in this game. I don't switch into the combination of Rock and Flying plus Ground well at all. Even just Rock and Flying combined is just not a good combination for me, so I'm definitely very scared of the Aerodactyl. Vaporeon is a very bulky wish-passing water type. It definitely has a really good matchup here, but I think Snorlax actually does the same role better, so I don't know if both come to this game. Snorlax, though, is incredible in this matchup as a special wall. It checks all of my special threats really well with Thick Fat, so I don't think it'll be like a setup Snorlax that comes potentially. It will be more of a defensive, bulky Snorlax that comes to this game. Whimsicott is an interesting one. It can obviously do some prankster shenanigans, but it's mainly going to be there, I think, as kind of maybe a faster, more offensive thing, because he doesn't have loads of things that threaten something like a Manaphy otherwise, so you could definitely do that. Drapion is good. It's pretty bulky, it hits pretty hard, it's got a good typing, it's only weak to ground, and obviously with my grassy terrain team that's going to be weakened, so you could definitely see that as an opportunity for Drapion to be good, either offensively with the scope plans or whatever, or defensively with AV potentially. And then thankfully for me, his low tiers don't really have a matchup here, so Rapidash gets walled by half my team, so I don't really expect that. Farfetch'd, similar case, but actually with the team I brought, Farfetch'd is kind of okay, so hopefully he doesn't predict my 6 really well and think Farfetch'd is really good. And then Ferroseed is obviously actually a really decent mon, but really doesn't have a matchup here because Heatran destroys it, Kieran can destroy it, Rillaboom sets up all over it. I don't think he brings that, even though it is pretty good. So as for the 6 I think he'll bring, I think the top 4 is definite, and I think it will be for most matches in his season. It's very top heavy. And then if I had, and then I'd stick Snorlax on there as a 5th for definite, and then I'd say either Vaporeon, Whimsicott, or Drapion. I think the most likely of those is Whimsicott, just because it can fill a little bit of a different role with Prankster and stuff, but if he wants to double up on really checking Heatran and Kieran well, then he probably brings Vaporeon instead. So let's talk about my team and why I'm bringing it, and why I'm bringing what I'm not bringing. So starting off here, we've got a Sugarberry Heatran, and you're thinking, well, that's a little bit strange because obviously the whole appeal of the team is its grassy terrain with Heatran, which really reduces that ground weakness. I didn't want to take any risks here. Aerodactyl is a huge threat, and the fact that I can just have Sugarberry to always guaranteed live that Earthquake, and I guarantee kill with Flash Cannon, that's huge in this matchup, absolutely huge. And I do guarantee get that kill with Flash Cannon every single time, unless he has a lot of bulk. It's min roll 100, so that's really huge to always be able to live that hit. And also with Celesteela, because obviously Celesteela's definitely going to run Earthquake in this matchup, so being able to live that, because obviously under no circumstances can a Heatran unless it specs one-shot Celesteela, so it's important, I thought, to have that ground resist anyway, just in case Terrain isn't up, and even if Terrain is up, it reduces it even further, and then it makes it very much a minimal damage. The speed here is for min speed Drapion and min speed Gliscor, not min speed but 0 speed. So if he runs very bulky variants of those, which is definitely possible with the Gliscor in this matchup, I would say, although not necessarily, then Heatran will be faster, and then I've just put the rest in HP because it allows me to take hits a little bit better. Then we've got this Rillaboom here with the Terrain Extender and Overgrowth for some reason. I fixed that when I ported it over, I think, but it will be Grassy Surge when I do the team. I'll just go and double check that. Got the same speed stat as Heatran, so it's the same thing. I'm faster than No Speed Gliscor and No Speed Drapion. We've got the Grassy Glide, U-Turn, Knockoff and High Horsepower with the max HP in there, and then just a bit in attack with that. This is essentially here to actually take hits from the Gliscor, because obviously it doesn't get dual wing beat, so I can switch into Gliscor pretty much all day long. Even a Fire Fang isn't going to be doing that much. Grassy Glide is a 2-shot back. Grassy Glide actually, with the exception of stuff like Celesteela and Snorlax, it's only a 3-shot, actually 2 shots most of his team, which is really nice. That's definitely a good late game option. In this matchup though, for me, Rillaboom serves more of it's there for the terrain, and it's going to mediate between different pieces going forward. High Horsepower is there just in case I need to hit the Drapion a bit harder, and the Knockoff is nice to get rid of items like leftovers on Snorlax or Celesteela or Vaporeon. But I'm mainly going to be clicking U-turn when I come in to try and get momentum on the Celesteela. That's going to be a big part of this matchup plan for me. You've got a Choice Scarfed Physical Kyurem here, which is really interesting, and this is mainly because otherwise Snorlax just absolutely hard walls me, so I thought bringing Physical means I actually do a bit more to Snorlax, which I think Snorlax is a definite bring here. I do still have the Freeze Dry on there though to hit Vaporeon a little bit harder, which if he is a physically defensive Vaporeon, Freeze Dry does more, but actually if he's a especially defensive Vaporeon, Dragon Claw will still do more, and it does a decent 40%. I do sacrifice the guaranteed kill on Aerodactyl. Icicle Spear it's like a very heavily favoured roll in my favour with 3 hits, so I have to bank on it hitting 3 times and then also the damage roll to kill Aerodactyl in 1 hit, but hopefully that doesn't come down to it. Hopefully he just switches on what is probably very obviously a Scarfed Kyurem coming in, because I don't live a hit, although I think I'm pretty sure I do live a hit actually, just because of the natural bulk that Kyurem has. But I've got special attack investment there as well, mainly for the Vaporeon, which may be better suited to being an HP if I don't think the Vaporeon's coming, but I feel like it's 50-50 on it coming. The speed, unfortunately I had to run a lot of speed even though I am Scarfed, because Mega Aerodactyl is just so fast, so that's for max speed Mega Aerodactyl. I'm faster than there, and then the rest is obviously gone in attack. Facade's on there as my last move, just because I didn't really have anything better to put on there, and it means that the thing isn't completely useless if it gets burned or something, so I just threw that on there for that reason. Actually, I'm going to change that before I play the match and put Rain Dance on there for Manaphy, just so that if Manaphy gets poisoned it doesn't kill my game plan. So here's my game plan. His team really struggles to beat Manaphy, and actually if I ran like a rest set, he would very much struggle to beat Manaphy, which is why I think a lot of Toxic is going to come on his team. So if I do manage to catch a Toxic with Manaphy, having Rain Dance on Kyurem is actually going to be a good option in case I still want to go for this sweeping option. So we've got Calm Mind, Substitute, Energy Ball and Surf on this Manaphy, fully physically defensive. Essentially what this does is it sets up on Vaporeon and Celesteela incredibly well. If he doesn't switch out immediately, he kind of just loses the game. Provided like stuff's gone. It doesn't have to be the end game though. I can do it mid game and really beat it down and be up like 4-2 or something, and then win the game with Grassy Glide or with Scarfed Kyurem. So there's definitely options, but this is kind of my main game plan. Essentially, I click sub on Vaporeon Toxicking or Wishing or whatever, or Celesteela Leech Seeding or Celesteela Toxicking, and then I just click Calm Mind a couple of times. And essentially the idea is if either I don't see Snorlax or Snorlax is pretty weakened, +2 is actually enough, but if Snorlax is pretty healthy, I do need to go +3, because otherwise Snorlax can 1v1 me. It's a free shot if it's +3. And then essentially, he can't really break me. A lot of stuff then doesn't actually break my sub, and then I go through with it. Ironically, Mega Aerodactyl is actually the thing that will do the most damage to me if I go +2, and that does like 40% with Stone Edge. And ironically, Manaphy is actually my best switch in to Mega Aerodactyl. So if Mega Aerodactyl really gets out of hand, I kind of have to adjust this game plan and run Manaphy as a response to that, which Surf is very close to being a one-shot on it, so I just need a little bit of damage for that to work well. And the Energy Ball is there just so I don't get walled by Vaporeon, basically, because otherwise this would all be a bit pointless to run this set if I couldn't actually break the Vaporeon. The main thing that stands in my way is the Snorlax, so as soon as the Snorlax goes, this set really goes in, and it's designed to either win the game at the end or make him throw away his big offensive pieces like the Aerodactyl, like the Spectria, and actually really break down his team so I can win in the end. Then we've got a Aerodactyl here with Wide Lens, because I really do not want to be missing. I'm max speed for the speed type of Spectria if it really comes down to that. I have the appropriate speed to be able to do that speed tie. We've got Stone Edge, which is 88% accurate with wide lens, Dual Wing Beat, which is 99% accurate, Earthquake, which is obviously always 100% accurate, and then Aquatail, which is also 99% accurate with the wide lens. So hopefully I really won't be missing Dual Wing Beat or Aquatail, and Stone Edge obviously does a little bit more damage. Obviously, it's better, I think, with Aerodactyl to, for me at least, to have that guaranteed hit. That's kind of the way I like to play. But essentially, everything apart from Aerodactyl, this is Fast Land and potentially Spectria, and it just does a lot of damage to a lot of stuff. It actually two-shots a vast majority of the team outside of Celesteela and Vaporeon, which after a bit of chip damage it actually does two-shot the Vaporeon. Celesteela is a little bit more difficult to work with because he probably runs physically defensive Celesteela to check the Rillaboom really well in this matchup. Earthquake is there for outside terrain purposes only. I believe I should be on Nerve as well. Just for outside terrain purposes, in case I want to hit the Drapion a bit harder, that could be useful later on. And the Aquatail is there for the Gliscor, because actually, depending on the Gliscor set, which most Gliscor sets can't really touch Aerodactyl, I can actually come in on that and Aquatail and do quite a bit of damage there. Dual Wing Beat is nice for stuff like the Whimsicott if he brings it as well, which I'm guaranteed to be faster than. And then finally finishing it off, the guaranteed bring to this game, from his perspective as well as mine, Guzzlord with the AV. This is an incredible Spectra check. It literally does 15% to me with a Spec Shadow Ball, which is absolutely incredible. And I am running a special set just because even if I hadn't made a bit of a meme about trading Guzzlord to check Spectra, it would have been very obvious to him anyway that I made that trade for that. Even if I hadn't made the trade, and looking at my team, it's very obvious I have to bring Guzzlord to this matchup. So I am very much expecting a Calm Mind Will-O-Wisp set to try and limit Guzzlord's output. So I've run a special set instead. So I'm running Dark Pulse, Flamethrower to catch stuff like Whimsicott and Celesteela, and then Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor just because it hits the team overall a little bit harder. Guzzlord has some really good physical coverage, which it's a shame I can't really get to use that here. Its special coverage isn't as good, but I think in terms of the role I need it to do in this game, I do need it to be that special attacker for safety, just to make sure I always two-shot the Spectria, and I'm able to do that very, very well. So there's the team, kind of different things from last week. Manaphy on, Aerodactyl in, Guzzlord in, I almost called it the Metropolis Mutant there. As for stuff I didn't bring, Weezing and Gligar both weren't terrible, they just didn't check anything specific and were taking a bit too much damage from stuff like Spectria and the Aerodactyl, and it didn't really feel worth it to me to bring them over other stuff on this build. Hitmonlee, I was actually very close to putting on the team, but I feel like with the Gliscor plus the Spectria, the opportunity wasn't really there for Hitmonlee to really put in work, although it obviously is my best thing against the Snorlax, which I do struggle a bit against. Aerodactyl might just have to be the sacrificial lamb to chunk the Snorlax for 80% in this matchup. I'm trying to think what else is on my team for a second here. I can't, let me go and look at that. What else didn't I bring? Azelf, that's the other thing. So Azelf, again, wasn't terrible, but I think Azelf to be the most effective it would have been in this match would have had to be Scarfed. So it was basically Azelf or Kyurem comes Scarfed to this game, and Kyurem with its stab does a lot more to the team than Azelf can do. Azelf would lock into a move that gets eaten up by something else essentially, because I'd have to run all the coverage, but then I want something Scarfed to be faster than Mega Aerodactyl, so I felt like this team composition was slightly better for this match. So there's the team build, and let's go and jump into the match. Okay, so we're here in the match now to face Matt, and a couple of things to note. One, Guzzlord is huge for some reason. Two, he actually brought the Rapidash, which I was so unexpected of that I didn't even do calcs for it. So there's that. I did do calcs for everything else though, and I was right on the first 5 that he brought to the game. So we've got Spectria, we've got Aero, we've got Steela, we've got Gliscor, we've got Rapidash, and then we've got Snorlax. Okay, so first off, Guzzlord actually ends up checking Rapidash really well as well, so I might do that. I actually have no idea who this Turnix Sucks guy is, to be honest. Maybe that's just an ult of someone from our division, and just to reiterate, if I sound cold, it's because I am. I'm absolutely freezing currently, so there's that. I've also just noticed that half my team is genderless, which is interesting. I've got all the legendaries. So, as for leads here, potential good lead on his end is Gliscor to set rocks. So, I think a Heatran lead is off the table for that reason alone. He could also lead Aero maybe to get the Mega Evolution off. I'm gonna get another blanket. I'm actually frozen. Oh my goodness. I'll bring another jumper out next week, jeez. I could also lead Snorlax maybe just to try and catch something immediately. The really nice thing to note here is Manaphy looks absolutely incredible. I do have one less thing to set up on though, obviously, although I could probably actually set up on Rapidash. Let me just check Rapidash's move pool, because I feel like the fact that he's brought it like this means it might get a ground move, like a Stomping Tantrum. Which is another way where having Sugar Berry is actually really nice. It is because, you know... right, so let's check Rapidash. It probably gets high horsepower, because it is a horse and all. Yes, that's high horsepower, so I'm very glad I have Andrew on. So I'm very glad I have Sugar Berry on Heatran for that. It also has Wild Charge, so that's something to be aware of that I can't set up on with Manaphy. And actually, that could be very annoying to my Manaphy sweep. So Rapidash is actually kind of an issue. He might lead with it. It is quite fast actually as well. I'm thinking my Kyurem lead is actually kind of good to try and catch that the Gliscor lead. Or you could lead Celesteela. That's the other option. Other option is I just lead Rillaboom to get the terrain up. So I think who did I lead with last week? I led with Azelf to U-turn. So I'm thinking Spectre leaders could also happen. I'm gonna lead Rillaboom here. I think that makes the most sense. Because I can kind of just U-turn out on whatever he wants to lead. Unless it's Gliscor, I guess. Well, no, yeah. I just kind of U-turn. I feel like Gliscor's a likely lead. Or the Lax. So I'm going to lead with Rillaboom. Interesting thing to note with Glide here is that Spectre does take 66 to 78, so as soon as I get a little bit of damage off on that, Grassy Glide can actually kill. That's true for a lot of stuff on the team, obviously with the exception of Celesteela, and Gliscor doesn't take that much, it takes like 40%. He leads with Rapidash, so that's probably worst case scenario for me. So I might actually go straight into Aero here. To take this hit, because he either goes for the fire move or he goes for a ground move predicting Heatran. So either way, Aerodactyl is actually a really good swap here. It doesn't bring the Drapion, so my Earthquake on Aerodactyl is never going to get clicked. But yeah, so I'm going to go Aero here and make kind of an aggressive switch first turn. And if he... well, he's not going to Wild Charge turn 1. If he does, that's just like a god tier play. But no, I assume he probably goes for a either a fire move here just to base hit, or he goes for the ground move into Heatran, if I had to guess. Rapidash is definitely interesting bring though. I really don't think it's not that good here, I would say. Like, it does get good coverage, so maybe that's why he's brought it to this game. I don't have power on my Heatran, so it could definitely cause me a couple of issues. Could be my downfall here, I guess. Just go straight into Aerodactyl. Fire move probably do a lot. He drill runs and I'm immune. That's awesome. Made a good play there. So that's drill run on his Rapidash. I see no reason to not just click Stone Edge. It does a good chunk to anything he wants to go into. I don't even know what his switch would be here. Maybe the Snorlax if it's physically defensive. Maybe into Gliscor, or probably Celesteela, if we're honest, actually. But that's going to do a good chunk to Celesteela. He doesn't have good switch-ins here. He does go Celesteela. 25%, that's very, very physically defensive. Okay, so that's min roll on fully physically defensive. So that's good to know. So he's fully physically defensive. My flamethrower with Heatran actually kills now, which is interesting. Yeah, it does 85 to 90. So I'm just going to go hard Heatran here, and if he Earthquake's fine, it's going to do 20%. He Leech Seeds, so we could see a Protect here. I'm not too concerned about seeing Protect here. Actually, I'd be very happy to see Protect here, because it means he probably doesn't have the move. He could go Snorlax as well. I mean, he either protects or he goes Snorlax, right? So Toxic is kind of the best play either way, because either I wouldn't have hit him anyway, or he goes Snorlax and I get the Toxic off on the Snorlax. So I'm actually going to Toxic, predicting a switch here. He could also stay in an Earthquake, thinking that but he'll know Earthquake wouldn't kill anyway in because I know his set, so. He knows Earthquake wouldn't kill anyway in Grassy Terrain right now because he's not an offensive variant or anything, which do exist. I've obviously never drafted Celesteela. If I did, I definitely want to try and run the offensive one at some point. So just trying to make some good plays here to start off the game. Made a good play with the read going into, well, not the read, but going into Aerodactyl there for the mid ground. Get some damage off. Once Celesteela goes, Aerodactyl is actually amazing, with the exception of the Mega Arrow being faster and killing me. So. Like, in terms of Aerodactyl coming in, it kind of just gets a kill every time if Snorlax is a bit weakened as well. So that's always good. And obviously, he's going to be getting a lot of health back with Celesteela because of Grassy Terrain as well as I am. So definitely going to be an interesting match. He goes Rapidash, so I get the Toxic off on the Rapidash instead. That's fine. He'll take Toxic there. I didn't get Grassy Terrain recovery. Interesting. Let me just check that. Is that something that isn't in Gen 8 anymore? Am I behind on that? I think this bit here, the HP was restored, is the Grassy Terrain. I just didn't see it. So I feel like just going this again. Obviously, if he has Wild Charge, then that's obviously going to do a lot, and he might try and predict that this time. I don't really want to stay in there, because I obviously don't do much damage to him either, so I feel like you could... Kyurem could actually be a decent middle ground here. Or I go... you. But I definitely don't want to stay in here. I would say, because I don't really do any damage. So let me just pull up Guzzlord. Choice Specs is the default set, which is lovely. Yeah, I realised that. Yeah, I just didn't see it originally. I assumed it would be at the end because I think I feel like in Gen 7 it was at the end. Or I might just be making that up. If I bring up a Rapidash, you know, that's lovely. Oh yeah, he's doing like not much at all to Guzzlord, so I'm gonna go Guzzlord here. I don't want to get too weakened though, obviously. Goes Wild Charge, does a solid 16%. He takes Recoil, and he's Life Orb. Okay. So I'm not too scared of this set. It gets walled really well by Rapidash. I might just drop a Draco here, you know? See what he wants to do. See, I'm actually going to drop a Draco. Why not? Wait, it doesn't get play rough. I already looked. It does not get play rough. I'm going to play Draco and see what he does. It'll be interesting to see. I basically just click Draco and then switch here. I'll just confirm it with that. He goes Celesteela, which doesn't take much at all from that Draco. That's great. I'm just gonna go Heatran again. I don't care if he... I really don't care if he goes for Earthquake. So I'm just gonna go Heatran. He Leech Seeds again. I kind of hope he shows Protect, to be honest. Just so I know he has it. I'm gonna Flamethrower this time. He might just go Snorlax, but if he goes Rapidash again, I want to try and actually hit that, you know. For a bit of damage, it'll do a bit. I assume it can't run Flash Fire, can it? Oh, it can run Flash Fire, okay. That maybe changes that play a bit. He's not going to stay in, right? He either stays in an Earthquakes or he doubles into one of these. So I'm actually going to go Aerodactyl here on the double, because he definitely doesn't Heavy Slam. He could click Protect, in which case I have to try and do stuff with that, but I don't care about Celesteela being healthy. In fact, I actually need Celesteela alive for Manaphy to really go in. So I'm going to double into Aerodactyl here. He's going to switch out into the Snorlax. So that's awesome. And as I said in the team preview, Aerodactyl here can really just serve a purpose by chunking this Snorlax and getting some damage in here if he chooses to stay in here. That is, he probably won't though. He goes back into the Celesteela. We get a Stone Edge off. We get a crit, which Stone Edge is a high crit move, but sorry about that. You don't like relying on crits, obviously, but that's really good damage there. That's awesome. I'm going to go... I feel like he Leech Seeds. I don't want to just keep going Heatran and getting Leech Seeded, so... I almost want to go Rillaboom, so I don't get Leech Seed and then Leech Seeded, and then I can maybe go for Knockoff on something. Or he could just switch and make sure Celesteela doesn't... what are his nicknames, by the way? He is a fake, you get the message, Ace Trainer Orange. Okay, so I feel like Rillaboom is a solid play here, because he's not going to do much damage to me. Yeah, I like that play. Strongest Celesteela. If he tried a Rillaboom as well, they're a significant chunk above the Celesteela. So Celesteela doesn't get terrain recovery because it's flying, by the way. So what was I saying? I forget what I was saying completely, actually. What was I trying to say? Okay, thank you, Orange Alt, for saying beat map, please. I'm trying my best. I've completely forgotten what I was saying before. I think it was probably about this play. So I'm going to go for Knockoff here on... I mean, he might actually stay in, but he can't really do much to me, unless he has Flamethrower. He could have Flamethrower, but I feel like he didn't... I don't feel like you don't bring Flamethrower to this game. I'm going to click Knockoff. Get rid of an item on probably the Rapidash, maybe he goes into here. Or he stays in, but he can't Leech Seed me, so that's why I made that play, because I felt like he was going to Leech Seed. So I feel like the fact that he stayed in and Leech Seeded there means he is probably Leech Seed Protect. Everyone is showing support for me for some reason. Yeah, he goes Rapidash, so I get a knockoff on this, get rid of its Life Orb. It almost is going to die to Toxic. No, it's not, it wasn't going to die anyway. This thing is fast though, so I don't really want to mess with that. It goes down to Toxic. No, it doesn't actually, it stays alive, so... I'm going to go Aero here, I think. If I catch a Wild Charge, that's fine. I probably live now that he doesn't have Life Orb. So I'm going to make that play. This time, he Drill Runs. Awesome, I'm immune. I am playing this like a book. I've lost my pen. Where is my pen? There's my pen. I make notes during games. I feel like Stone Edge is just solid. It's 88% accurate right now. Nothing really wants to take it. I'm just going to click Stone Edge. Actually, he probably just sacks this. So, no, but I don't want him to go Celesteela, actually. So I'm just going to Stone Edge and get this kill. Aerodactyl putting a lot of work right now in the early game. Doing really, really well. And I'm really liking my position right now. So, Rapidash goes down. And now in comes the Gliscor immediately, which I find interesting. I'm just going to Aqua Tail and see what he wants to do here. He might have Aqua Tail himself. Potentially, he just sets rocks. Okay. He really wants rocks on the field for some reason. He probably just roosts after I click Aqua Tail again, to be fair. He gets his Toxic Orb off, so he has Toxic Orb. And do that. He probably clicks Roost right now, so I'm going to go into Rillaboom and kind of seize the initiative here. He clicks Toxic, that's fine. Rillaboom doesn't really care about being Toxic. I'm now going to U-turn on a probable Celesteela coming in here. Although Celesteela's actually very weakened, so he might not do that. And actually, because if he goes Celesteela now, this is prime Manaphy time to set up. Actually, no, it's not, because I don't have Grassy Terrain Recovery. I want to kind of let Grassy Terrain Recovery take more of a course here, I would say. So I'm going to U-turn. U-turn into Aero, I guess, if he stays in. But obviously, if he switches, he goes Celesteela. Perfect. Oh, I take Rocky Helmet. Okay, yeah, that is good prep for the Rillaboom from the Celesteela there with the Rocky Helmet. I really like the idea of going Manaphy here and just trying to set up, because he's low, right? He's going to see Manaphy come in and he's going to think, okay. Or if to be fair, if I come in with Manaphy here, he probably thinks, prime time to go into Snorlax and click buttons there. So into Snorlax and kind of do stuff there. So I don't really want to be doing that, because Snorlax is the one thing that I don't really set up on. I do need this alive though, so I don't really want to go Heatran and just let him sack it. I could go Heatran and click Toxic on a probable Snorlax coming in, because like he could have immunity. He won't though. He's going to have Thick Fat in this matchup because it helps him check Kyurem and it helps him check the other one. How much does Kyurem do to Celesteela? Actually, that might be the play. Kyurem to Celesteela, physically defensive. Dragon Claw is not doing enough. Icicle Spear isn't either, so that's definitely not the play. I'm going to go Heatran, and I'm going to click... I'm going to click Flamethrower, I think, with Heatran, just in case he tries to... Yeah, so basically... To explain this, that's just come in, basically there's another person in the Discord called Ace Trainer Orange, which is the owner of the Discord server is called Orange, so it's like that was a bit of a meme for a while. I'm going to click Toxic here because Earthquake does no damage, so to me, rather, so I'm going to go predict the Snorlax play, because even if this thing isn't very healthy, it's worth keying around for the Rocky Helmet damage on Rillaboom, so I do definitely think... And he knows I'm a terrain extender as well, so he knows it's not really an offensive Rillaboom, he knows that. So I'm going to click Toxic here, predicting the Snorlax, and then once that is Toxic, that's really set up for Manaphy to really put in a lot of work in this game. He's trying to consider his play here. He might Leech Seed, to be fair, predicting me to kind of overplay. He does go Snorlax, awesome, please hit this Toxic, that's amazing. Get the Toxic off on the Snorlax. My play here is actually probably Aerodactyl, I would guess. If he's not bringing out Spectre yet, I just won't bring out Guzzlord. Now with Rapidash gone, there is no reason for me to have Guzzlord anywhere near the field, so I'm going to go Aerodactyl here because he probably won't be able to touch me with his set. He might be Recycle Berry, he probably isn't Curse. I feel like he brings it more kind of just as a defensive piece in this game. If he is Cursed, that's an issue. But we'll work with it. So the fact that he's Toxic means Curse is going to be difficult. Obviously, if he's Rest, though, that's a bit annoying. He goes for Body Slam. Please don't get the Para. He does get the Para, of course. No worries, Hacks is a thing. That's really annoying, actually. Although I'm probably still faster, let's be honest. I don't win. I'm not faster than like Gliscor anymore, though. So I just need to not get paralyzed. I'm going to click Stone Edge here. Please don't get paralyzed. I chunk it for 43%, that's awesome. He is Curse, okay. That's pretty scary, but he's going to be Rest, isn't he? He's, okay. Oh my god. Okay, let's get the calc glasses out here. This is very, very sketchy. He could genuinely sweep the game with this. Curse Lax is a big issue. So let's bring in Snorlax here. OU Curse. Fully, yeah, he's going to be that, yeah. And then I have an Aerodactyl here. just offensive, but I don't have Life Orb, which is probably going to be... No, it's Aerodactyl, that's fine, that's the same as Wildlands. I am Jolly, I'm Max. Stone Edge, if he's +1, probably isn't going to kill, right? Yeah, it's not. I need a crit for it to kill. So there's going to be a rest coming my way right now, isn't there? 100%. So what's my play here? He's going to click rest. He is going to click rest. Does Kieran free shot? If it's well, because he could keep just rolling curse, couldn't he? This is not how I wanted this game to go. I didn't think he'd bring curse lax. Yeah, Kieran probably doesn't free shots, so. Oh, I'm gonna click Stone Edge, and no, that seems really dumb. Dual Wing Beat isn't gonna do more. Like Dual Wing Beat is weaker. That's not happening. Yeah, like that does. That's he clicks rest here. Like he 100% clicks rest. 100% clicks rest. It 100% clicks rest, but there's nothing I can do to stop it. That's the issue. Because Dragon Claw isn't going to do enough. I just have to Stone Edge and hope here, I think. I do hit. I get the crit. Oh no. I feel really bad. I think. That's really bad. That's actually just won me the game. Yeah, that crit won me the game. Oh, I feel bad. No. Like, I feel good, obviously, because it's like, I'm gonna probably win the game now, but like, that's really bad. You hate stuff like that happening, where you like win games based on crits. Oh, that's awful. That's a really good set. Like, that would have been a really good set. The only thing that would have stopped that, which obviously he knows I'm not offensive Rillaboom now, so... this doesn't do anything for me anymore, so I'm just gonna Dual Wing Beat and let Spectra kill me. And then, go Kieran, I guess. Yeah, he gets the kill, so he's got, I've lost my pen again. He's got, Snorlax is dead, but he's got Shadow Ball on Spectria. Which I don't learn anything about the set from that. Paralyzed Aerodactyl isn't helpful to me at the moment. So, Kieran to Spectria doesn't do enough, actually, so I do kind of just need to go into the mutant here. And I'm going to click Flamethrower, predicting Celesteela, because it will kill. So yeah, I'm going to do that, because he went Celesteela last time, and there's no way he stays in here. Yeah, oh, he goes Gliscor, actually. That's fine, that actually did a lot, what the heck? That's fine, I just get to go Rillaboom here and reset terrain, which is awesome. I'm already poisoned, so that's fine. He's not going to stay in. Oh, I did Toxic last time, but Celesteela is just such a free play on this, so I'm going to U-turn again. And I think now I go Manaphy and try and win the game that way, because I kind of I owe it to Manaphy to try to not just lay him out the game at the end, because that was like the most game-deciding crit I've ever had in my life, pretty much. Like that I flat out probably just lost to that Snorlax. Although it didn't have, I think not that Heatran did any damage to it though, because Thick Fat. So, as I say, it actually doesn't matter that I had that it didn't have Earthquake or anything, but it would have been Rest, Sleep, or Body Slam Curse, which potentially just won the game there. Probably just won the game there, because obviously, like, the thing that stops that is like really strong special attackers, but obviously my really strong special attackers get walled by Snorlax anyway, so it was actually a really good idea for a set. I just didn't think he'd do it, because I thought he would have prioritised really checking them defensively in this matchup. But definitely can't take my eye off the ball though, because you can definitely still win. This Aerodactyl is really, really good against my team. I should probably actually keep I'll keep either Kieran or Rillaboom around, because obviously Glide does a lot, and then Kieran can kill it in one hit, Scarf. So Yeah, I should probably actually just keep Kieran in the back. Kieran can actually definitely sweep this game at this point. Once I get a bit of damage on Spectria, and a bit more on Celesteela. So there's that. Probable Celesteela play here on his part, I'd say. He could stay in, predicting me to U-turn, to be fair. It's like, if he does, sure, that's a good play. I'd probably go Kieran at that point, because he can't really do that much damage to Kieran. And I just click Icicle Spear, and or I click Dragon Claw, because he wouldn't stay in on it. So, because Dragon Claw is a bit more... Dragon Claw actually doesn't two-shot Celesteela anyway, though, so I kind of have to rely on Icicle Spear doing its thing. Yeah, so if he stays in here, I go Kieran, because no one hit that he goes for will kill Kieran. What did I hit the Gliscor with on Aerodactyl? I hit it with Aquatail, didn't I? Aquatail did 35% to Gliscor. So actually, it's actually got a bit of physical defense to it. It's got a bit of physical defense. I count on specially defensive, and that does 40 to 47. So he's actually got quite a bit of physical defense on this set, which is interesting. I wonder what that's for specifically on the team that I have. Yeah, that's interesting actually. I wonder what that's for on my team. Obviously rocks are up and I have no way to remove them, but that doesn't really matter because nothing I have is really that affected by rocks. So there's that. But if he does stay in here with Gliscor, I go with Kieran and just then hit something hard with Icicle Spear. So this game definitely went my way, or is definitely going my way. That crit was huge. That crit was absolutely huge. But it's kind of what I had to play for. Because like I go Kieran and he rests, like that doesn't actually achieve anything because I don't free shot with Dragon Claw at +1. With like well, terrain wasn't up, but with leftovers and stuff, I actually didn't free shot with Dragon Claw when he's at +1 and he was gonna roll more curses. So I definitely think I made it wasn't the right play there to bank on the crit, unfortunately. And I did get it, but obviously so it was a high crit move, so it's not like it was the incredibly unlikely, and he's taking his time over this play. Maybe he got called to go and do something, because he's been pretty quick this entire time. Or he's just really considering his plays, maybe doing some calcs, trying to work out how Aero can win the game, because that's definitely his win con now. He goes Celesteela, so I'll take Helmet here, which is fine. I am going to go Manaphy now and click sub. So we're going to do that. Back up to full health from leftovers plus terrain. That's amazing. I'm going to click sub on Elite Seed here. Perfect. Now I'm going to click Calm Mind. And the only way this goes south is if he's got Giga Drain, but I don't think he will. Yeah, he shows Earthquake, which doesn't break. So I guess just get to click Calm Mind a couple of times here. That one doesn't even break, so I get to Calm Mind a third time, then click sub again. Heavy Slam, then break sub. I get to sub again now. And now at +3, I kill the entire team. I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm just going to go for game now. That shit, I get another crit. What the hell is going on? That killed anyways. That one didn't matter, but that was just weird. And we're at full health, behind a sub. So essentially, he can... I'm +3, so actually... No, Spectrum might be able to break. Spectrum might break it. Yeah, he goes Gliscor, so maybe his Gliscor's fast? His Gliscor is fast, so he actually breaks sub there with Gliscor, but Gliscor goes down. Aero only does like 40% to me. Yeah, who said Manaphy was bad now? Yeah, Manaphy just really putting in the work. This is going to do like 25%, and that's it. I don't think I one-shot, but this does like 25%. He doesn't get the SPDL drop either. Not that would have mattered, because I think I just win the game here regardless, even if he did get the SPDL drop. Because I would have been still above 40%, and then Aerodactyl can't do enough to me. And we get the kills with Manaphy, yeah, Dual Winged doesn't do much at all. Yeah, so that's GG's to Matt. Sorry about the crit. That was a huge crit. That game would have been so different if that crit had happened. Kiram still has not hit the field this season, which is incredible. That's actually pretty hilarious that Kiram still has not hit the field in either game. But you pick up a very lucky 5-0 there. I think I genuinely think I might have just lost to that Snorlax if I didn't get that crit. I'm not sure what I would have done. But yeah, that's a thing. So hope you enjoyed watching. And we go into probably top of the league going into week 3, which is insane because I've got 2-5-0, so I'm 2-0 plus 10. Didn't think I'd ever be on top of the league this season. Who do I play next week? That is a very good question. Who do I play next week? Next week I play Pulsey, who is also 2-0, I believe. Let me check the standings. I believe they are 2-0. Oh, Doc's broken, so they're only 1-0 at the moment. But I believe they did just win their match, so they're 2-0. Yeah, our Doc had a bit of a seizure and gave everyone the wrong thing. Yes, that's the thing. Manaphy just put in so much work there, and that was the game plan for Manaphy to put in a load of work once the Snorlax was like weakened. But no, that was awesome. So thank you for watching, everybody. Goodbye.